Hi guys. I apologize about last week's video. Best laid plans. I had edited something for you, but then the sound didn't work, and then I lost some of the clip. And I do apologize. Um, what I worked on last week with Archer was leash walking and teaching him that introduction of leash skills. Today we're reinforcing that and starting to compound that with leave it, like we talked about 2 weeks ago. So what I want to do is kind of refilm leash work with you, and then also talk about how to integrate those other skills. So first and foremost, Archer, when he's walking with you, it's his right as a dog to walk right alongside you. So come here. So when he's walking, we're talking about this. This is his right. This is what his everyday should be like. It's a privilege to get all of the leash and be far behind, far to the side, or way far in front. That is a privileged behavior that we're going to work on and develop. So when you're walking with him, what I always like to say is when you're doing this, your arm should be nice and relaxed. We as humans tend to T-Rex it. We like to be up here because we feel safe up here. But what we want to teach the dog is that when I'm walking, there's looseness. There's a looseness, you can say, the wiggle in the leash. We want this calm behavior. When there is tension, it's, hey, I have to pay attention. Something's happening. What's going on? So this should be our normal. Good boy. Now, when you're getting ready to walk, you're going to say, let's go, or with me, something that indicates we're walking. I need you to pay attention. So I'm going to walk away and then back to the camera. So Archer, let's go. And I just start walking. Now, if he pulls, I'm going to give him a slight tug and release. Good boy, Archer. Yes. Come on. Now, one of the things that I like to tell clients is that if your dog pulls behind you or to the side, ignore it. Just keep walking. It's really when they pull in front that we want to correct, because there's a natural consequence. There's a natural consequence. If you're walking forward and he's pulling to the side, he's just going to, I got to keep going with you. So you can kind of see how, let's go. He's walking relatively well with me. Now his nose is on the ground. He's checking things out. I'm not really paying much mind to it. And you can kind of see him dancing at the end of the leash. Archer. Yes, good boy. Let's go. I'm neutral. The leash is neutral. It's not about corrections. It's not about right or wrong. It's just, hey, this is the expectation. Yes, good boy. Now he's allowed to sniff as long as it's not causing you, the human, to stop. You got to think of leash working as it's your walk, not his walk, even though really and truthfully it is his walk. Good boy! Yes! Throwing an occasional good boy helps him go, I did it. Sit. Yes, good boy. Now you don't need treats when you do leash skills at all. They do help, like having a little extra never hurts. But the idea is that we're teaching that neutrality on leash work. Now the other part of leash work that I like to do is talk about belt leash. So I have a leash that actually becomes almost like a backpack where I can wear the dog and then I'm hands-free. But you can also take your normal leash and attach it to you, whether it's a carabiner, it is a fanny pack, something that then your hands are free. And then you just walk. Let's go. Archer has to pay attention to your body versus paying attention to where he wants to go. So if I always switch directions, he has to be with me. Yes, good boy. And when he's with you, good. Let's go. Good boy. Archer. Now, he is trying to bite the leash. That's him having some frustration that he can't do whatever he wants, which is a factor here. He has to realize that when the leash is on, he's working. Even though he's not a working dog per se, there's still expectations. It's kind of like when you get in a car, you have to obey the rules of the car road. Same thing. When there's a leash on, yes, there's expectations. Good boy. Now, let's talk about adding other skills while he's on leash. And I'm actually going to move the camera, so hang tight with me. So when Archer is doing leash skills, a couple of things that I like to tell people when they're doing leash walking. One, don't let your dog pee anywhere that they want. Honestly, I don't care where your dog pees, but you're going to only release them to go potty when you say it. So, for example, if you're walking in your neighborhood, one house they can check the yard out, the next house they are not allowed to check it out. They're walking. A lot of times when we walk with our dogs, come on, we're walking along and they're like, oh, what's that? I gotta sniff it. You leave it, let's keep going. And then, hey, now you can pee on this bush. Okay. Really, dude? Archer. This is what I love about puppies. Is like they're like, I'm broken. You can fix a leash for him, but at the same time, he can also figure out how to fix it. He's smart enough. Now, what I would recommend is doing a slip lead or a martingale collar, teaching him tension and release. So the release of tension means, hey, I can focus, I can pay attention. And release of tension is how dogs learn. It's not the tension in and of itself. Hi. Oh boy, I know you're so excited. So when you're doing leash work, you can practice a little bit of that name game and also the introduction of recall. So if I'm like, Archer, yes, you can practice some nice long lead work of, okay, let's go. He's with me, yes, good. And we reward that. Now, I think I'm out of camera sight. Here we go, okay. So there's another technique that I like to teach people, and this is really, it is a training technique. It is a, not just on your walk, it is a, hey, we're going to train for this moment. So you're going to take a couple treats, you can take a handful of his food, and what you're going to do is basically make your hip a Pez dispenser, for lack of a better term. Now, I don't care if dogs walk on my left or right, it doesn't matter. I teach both sides. It's whatever your preference is. So what you're going to do, you start him off in a sit next to you. Come here. I'm going to reward and take some steps. And as I'm walking, Archer, every time he's right here, I lure him back to my side. Yes, good boy, come on. Yes. So that way, for him, there's a motivation. There's a motivation to be right by my hip. Yes. Good boy. Oh, where are we going? Archer. Now, I have him on a long lead attached to me, and there's a bunch of distractions actually right behind the camera. So he's like, one, tangled, but two, he's like, oh, there's all these cars, and there's all these distractions going around us. What is this? Come on. Yes. But teaching him that this is where I'm going to get treats. This is where I can focus. Yes, let's go. It's the start of heel, but it's also the start of body placement. Now, you can also take a treat in your hand and have it right by your side. And he's going to dance. Yes. Yes. He's going to dance for that treat. Archer, come here. Yes. So when he stays right here, that's how he gets the reward. Come here. Now, this is something, again, I would say it's a tool. You're going to practice this for a handful of treats, a part of his breakfast, part of his dinner. Not every time, and not every time that you're out on a walk. But we're focusing on right here is where we want him to be. And if he pulls to the side or behind you, you're going to ignore it. It's really when he pulls in front of you that we're going to redirect it. And to clarify, that redirection is going to be a tug and release with me. Good boy. So when he pulls in front, pretend he's pulling with me. Let's go. Yes. Yes. And your arm stays where it's at. If he's getting really tuggly and you're like, man, I am just choking my dog out. It feels like I'm just yanking on him. Walk backwards. Yes. Similar to the Pez dispenser. He gets further away from the thing he wants than walking with you. Now you'll notice if he's tugging on the leash, this is common frustration. This is the, I don't want to do this. Let's go over here instead. Because it's control and it's boundary work. And that's where, you stop and make it not a fun game. Archer. Yes, good boy. Okay, let's go. So there's no choice but to walk with you. Let me know if you guys have questions. He is getting leash walking. It's just, it is going to take, it's one of those things that does take time. Let me know if you have any questions.